Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. One of these teams will be heading home. The train for one of them will be ending here. It all culminates in a third and final Inferno. It's Renegades versus Big. And the winner goes on to play versus the winner of MIBR versus North later on to decide who secures a spot in the playoffs. So it's all on the line, Hugo. We've seen each team win each other's map pick. Of course, Renegades kickstarting the day, winning out Dust 2, the map pick of Big. And then Big in with a pretty swift return just then over on Train to take us through to this third map.
Indeed, and a little update as well. I'm pretty sure MIBR did win their game. I just saw on like another monitor Stewie doing an interview with Stunner, so I assume he hasn't interviewed him post-loss. So I imagine MIBR are going to be going forward to face the winner of this. And if that's Renegades, Harry, that's a rematch from their first opening best of one that was a 16-13 to the Brazilians that put Renegades into this lower bracket. So we could have a grudge match, or we could have Big trying to face off against them instead. I'll stick with my initial prediction, as I'm sure you will, but it's anyone's game going into Inferno.
It certainly is. I think this is a pretty good middle ground map for both of these teams. Renegades, I think they're a very, very solid Inferno team. Yeah. I think that's helped greatly by their ability to double AWP on the CT side, but then they don't have to. Nifty can be a very, very strong anchor. It doesn't normally actually play B all that much. It's actually a site with JKS and Jacob on it. And that's where the double AWP strength comes into it, because you can have Nifty anchor Banana rather with the AWP. But I think the strength really lies in having JKS take the AWP there. He can lock it down with Jake, and they play off each other very, very well. Yeah. You know, then Nifty kind of, to me, is always the guy over in the A-bomb site with the AWP. There's been some fantastic clips of him there. And then for Big, I haven't seen much of them on Inferno. I don't think I've ever seen them on Inferno. So it's going to be interesting. I was kind of discussing this with you in the sense that, you know, I mean, for someone like God B, and when I say Big on Inferno, I mean the new iteration of Big on Inferno.
Yeah, of course, with this roster.
You know, for someone like God B, this has always been a pretty decent map in the sense it's got a big tactical depth. There's a lot you can do, a lot of interesting strategies you can run. Let's see if they throw anything interesting in here. Map number 3 in the elimination best 3, where one of these teams will be heading home. I cannot stress that enough. This is the end of the road for one of these two teams.
And of course, every good best of 3 ends on Inferno. We know that, Harry. As does this one, and this has been a bit of a banger so far. Let's see if Renegades get banged by Big. Because Liquid certainly were, but this is a very different map. Tizian, USP down the CT spawn. He does catch the first man in Ivy, and Jacob challenging back, trying to duel with the devil himself. He's not going to be able to land it, swapping out to his teammate's Glock, but there's a teammate coming in. Smooya able to trade it back, and God B even keeps a couple in the pit. Big, a nice confident pistol round to start things off. They're going to go flawless.
Look at those odds. Yeah. That's so even.
I completely agree.
Right down the middle. And yeah, I can 100% get behind this. Good job, Betway, and the guys betting over there, because let me tell you, this is a pretty even match. I think this is as 50-50 as it gets. Big coming in a little bit unknown. Renegades coming in looking a bit rusty on the back of Train. It's all going to be interesting. 4 spy up for Renegades right now. Deagle for Nifty. CZ for the rest of the crew. I would like to see them maybe just try something over here towards B, although Big have anticipated that, stacking 3 players here.
This is something I really am excited to see this game as well, the utility usage from Big, right? We already talked about how good it was on their CT side of Train, and now on Inferno, a map that is just so good for nice, deep Molotovs in Banana and taking map control via utility usage. Big are going to be really exciting to watch. So watch out for this Banana control that I'm sure we'll see as rampant this game. But what else is rampant are these pistols up towards this A site? They're looking to overwhelm. Tabson's back in the library, but he isn't reading just yet. He's holding for the angle, and there's the first kill. Nifty going into his death, and somehow you still are trading with a CZ at an incredible range. We're still going to have this A play come through, but JKS has dropped God B. This is starting to get a little bit worrying for Big, but Next does retrieve a frag and a half, and so this will save the day. It's only Ustillo up with a Deagle, and that's a little bit too much to ask for. So Big, couple of casualties, but a second round underway.
Yeah, rotating back through the library, it was Big there with a good read as they lock in that second round. Renegades now with no money, just going to have to take one on the chin, as it were. Likely just going to try and, you know, maybe waterfall out of apartments. You don't really often see teams rush Banana with Glocks. It's more of a matchmaking thing. But, you know, they'd love to prove me wrong. They're just going to hold down here in mid, anticipating this aggression. This is a nice read from Nifty and the rest of the gang. They do manage to find that first kill and a second on the Smooya. Oh my goodness, this is getting a little bit out of hand, but now the rest of the guys tagged down low and all shaking in their boots, with Big throwing all the utility and all the bullets their way. Be sure to keep your eye on Tabson as he moves down second mid as well. But Tizian's in a spot of bother. He could go down here. These Glocks, you know, they can get pretty deadly up close. Their bark definitely worse than their bite, though, versus these armored opponents. And Tizian's playing this perfectly, just buying time for Godby to come and rotate in. Doesn't want to go down or else they can get a bomb plant, and that's a massive win for Renegades. So there we go. Well played. Third round for Big, but now the buy comes in for the boys.
Tizian's kicked off this map very strong as well. 6-0 right now. That's important. We've had Nex top of the board for both these previous games for Big, win or lose. So now it'd be nice to see someone else step into their own. And as well as that, I'm waiting for Smooya with this AWP. I think this is going to be a very good map for him as well. Train, not always his best. At least in that previous, he did have a couple of struggles up against Nifty, but maybe this is where he can find a few more frags, and he has found it into this first buy round as well. The AWP is well and truly here on that B site, but so is Azza, and he's already pushed up for one, trying to double it down. Smooya does have his teammates back covered, but the nade finishes Tabson off, leaving Smooya alone on this B site. The issue is Renegades lost 2 men themselves, so they won't just dive into it. It's only Jacob left up Banana, and instead they keep up a couple of men on the A site where the bomb sits.
Yeah, little Smooey not going to be challenged just yet inside of the B-bomb site. As they divert back here towards A. Got B and Nex left to overthrow. And got B holding up on the balcony with an MP9. He's not looking to profess his love, though, like Tale of William Shakespeare. Instead, he's looking to riddle Renegades with bullets. Nifty and JKS regrouping back down with Jacob over here in mid. 50 seconds left. Next going to peel off from long. This could be a way in. They have 2 smokes. You could throw one of those down over towards Library and then look to try and go into CT, for example. Maybe try splitting that B bomb site. And as Nifty peels away, no, he's lining up a smoke instead. So this should just be the A play. Although, no, there we go. That's going to fall over at the arch side. Or rather, long side. Now they're going to be allowed to cross into CT, but there's only 25 seconds. These guys have to get a move on.
Uh-oh.
They're going to go for the B play. Smooya has to hold his own, and he's going to start to rotate off. The timing, it couldn't be worse. And now, Godby's called it. No one's here. Smooya, it's all onto you. Manages the first kill. Still 2 more yet to find. He has to deny this bomb plant. There's 8 seconds. He's looking to try and prove himself. A man that a lot of people doubted, and he can't deny the bomb plant, so it will go down. Smooya now just waiting for the rest of the guys to come to rotate in.
Yeah, he actually zoomed out before he shot there on that second kill, but JKS is going to walk right into it. So Smooya, third found, and it's only Nifty left at the back of the site. Smooya with the retake, needs no team. 4 kills of the AWP, and I hoped he would perform coming into this final map, and he certainly started it off well. 4-0 for Big. They get the defuse with plenty of time left, and Renegades, well, they do get a bomb plant. This money's in a bit of a spot, Harry. We have a bit of a range. Well, not really. 3,800 to 4K, that's not too much for a range. But even so, that's not a great amount of money for a buy, so they're going to go for the half buy here. Pistols and armor, slight utility, maybe going to try and get a fast B play and a bomb plant in. But the buy round will be coming up in the 6th.
Yeah, now, Godby plugging in his orders, getting that all sent through. Question is, what's on the menu for Renegades with this force bite? Stacking up over here towards the A-bomb. So looking like they might just try a bit of a faster play. I'm never opposed to that. I always like this, you know, you kind of test the waters, get a feel for how big are playing their CT side defense. And here we go, rushing up towards Ong. Nex is the unknown quantity. JKS going to fall at the first setup. Oh no, they don't check for Nex. Nex is allowed a quick double. JKS though, he's aware. The rest of the guys up Banana and a missed shot from Smooya. Things could get dire now. Smooya can't give this up. The rotation's coming through from the rest of the gang, and Smooya falls. Now that's an AWP handed over to Nifty. And suddenly Renegades in with a real shot in this round. Smokes down in CT, and that's going to give a sheath for Godby to try and move through a shroud rather. Smoking that, and Godby just waiting in it. Time ticking against them though. Going to be about 30 seconds left on that bomb. It's very, very quickly ticking down, and Big have to get a move on. God B's been tagged up by Nifty. He does find Jacob and Nifty back against the wall, trying to hold this up from Quad. Finds the first on the Tabson, and now into a 1v1. And he's playing the timer, he's playing it well. Tabson has to find the shot, and he's not going to get there in time. Nifty with a triple. And Nifty's done it all for Renegades in this round. They managed to find their first. As single-handedly slams the gauntlet down on B. Locking it down.
It's such a nice round from Nifty there. 3 kills off the back of that, well, pistol play to get the AWP away from Smooya. And as we know, you don't want to give an AWP to Nifty, or at least Big don't, because that is a big mistake. Massive impact there from the IGL of Renegades, and now we go forward with them having a round on the board, and in fact, crippling Big's economy somewhat. 2 SMGs in this round, utility a miss, but the AWP is up for Smooya, only for a bit of time though. First kill coming through, and Tabson does drop one down middle in the meantime, so Renegade's actually not favoured in this position, but Tizian, luckily enough for Azza, is going to be caught in that Molotov, caught in the corner, and now the B site's open for the taking. Renegades are running over it, and next, while he has rotated into position, there's only so much he can do. The smoke is down, it's blocked off his retake. The bomb, however, has yet to be joining these 2 Ts up on the site.
Yeah, and if you keep an eye on it, if God B was a little bit further ahead, things could have gotten a little bit scary there for Renegades. Instead, smoke goes down for CT, it's going to block off Tabson. Bomb plant comes in from JKS, and now the pressure falls on to the big boys once again. Not to be confused with the boys, who currently sit in a 3-on-3 after plant with the bomb down. Next on this MP9 is anything less than ideal. And keep your eye on Azza. He still has that Molotov up. You can see him playing down on Banana as a result. He can Molotov onto the bomb. But first, he's got to try and go toe-to-toe with God B. And it already looks like Big maybe committed to the save here. They've taken a long time. They're going to try and keep Renegades inside of this bomb site. Absent. Ooh, well now you're definitely tempted to go for it, Big. Time's working against them, and it's ticked down so low that even as they find every single frag, there's no time left. So this round goes the way of Renegades, even in death. They don't manage to find defeat. They lock in a second round. Next looking like he was going to go for 3 AWPs. Bit ambitious, but
why not?
Better than the MP9.
Yeah, I would say.
Sure.
The only problem is like versatility, right? You don't want 3 AWPs retaking, because I mean that's what held back Big from retaking.
Don't need to retake if you kill everyone.
Yeah, right. Well, you hope for that, but the problem is it's not the most consistent of setups. You can only get 1 kill with that per bullet. I mean, actually that's not true, is it? But no. At least consistently. Tabson, though, he has got this AWP, and he's posted up on middle, won't be able to open up, and the Molotov in the apartment stops him from re-peeking, but he's still so hungry. And Nifty, as a result, takes him down. Nex isn't going to take that AWP just yet, but I imagine he will eventually, and that's the case. So he's dropped that back. He actually threw the MP9 into middle. Tizian would love that, but he's on the other side of the map, so he can't even come and get it. He's finally started to rotate because he's heard there's weapons around for him, and we already know Tizian loves a good old SMG. Definitely going to be better than this pistol. Just got to re-smoke mid first, and Renegades are looking to take mid at the same time, so Tizian's really got the worst end of the stick here. Molotov down. It's going to corner God B in this position, but can he get anything from it? There's one. Second coming in from Tizian, but Nifty's quick on the trigger with the AWP. The bomb is dropped in the open, but Nex has retrieved this AWP, and he's doing work with it, leaving us in a 2v2. Smooya may have pushed Banana, but again, the double AWP up for Big. This may come back to haunt them, unless they walk towards Banana, where Smooya's posted up.
Ooh. And a shot from Nex. He's fortunate to still be alive, and he knows it. Nifty isn't going to see this coming. Respook goes down over here in mid. Missed shot, but almost catches the timing. 30 seconds left on that clock, and it's a strenuous round here from Big. You can see Smooya so conflicted whether or not to push down Banana once again. It almost led to him losing his life just moments ago. And he did manage to spot out Jacob there. Since then, Jacob's rejoined up with his captain. Now they look to try and overwhelm Nex, who's looked so good for Big. He wants to try and roll back into that form that we've seen him have. The bomb goes down. Oh. Nifty falling from above. Finds the shot. Jacob just going to get the bomb down with milliseconds to spare. And now it's the new boy from Britland, Smooya. 1v2.
Big clutch to find, and Nifty has just been such an ailment to Smooya this entire game. Utility misplaced, and Nifty on the angle. Smooya's not going to be ready for it. And again, Nifty winning a duel. 4 kills off the back of that AWP parry. This is not a map known for its T-side AWPing, but that's now a 3K and a 4K in 1 rounds for Renegades that has made this game a possibility. Without Nifty stepping up here, we would not have such a close scoreline right now, and as a result, it's about to get just that little bit closer, because Big, they're down on pistols. They already saved in the previous round with that double AWP coming through, but Renegades have now hammered one home. A couple of CZs here, there, and some utility for Big, but I've not got high expectations of this kind of round, not with with no weapons, sorry, to fight back against that of Renegades.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, kind of going off what you just said, normally the AWP on this map looks a little bit naff. Right now, Nifty, he's wreaking havoc, an absolute top gun, and just soaking up these rounds like a sponge. It's going to be Renegades close to equalizing things out. It's going to be a stack for Big inside of this B-bomb site. That down goes next. Do they keep on going? Maybe as they spot out a little bit more. There's that one nade. Now they have the information. There's at least 2 players here. They've spotted another. They can anticipate it's the stack. And like vultures to a corpse, they're just swooping in, picking this apart.
Yeah, the problem is here is Big are just giving them fights, right? If Big just hold on, maybe Renegades walk into that and maybe Big get some kills. But when you peak so aggressively, because Renegades have kind of positioned themselves so they can't, you know, no one's sitting in the open, no one's susceptible to dying to all 4 players. They're taking 1 or 2 angels at a time. So, yeah, the rifle's going to be better than pistols there, and Big not waiting for Renegades to push. But that's kind of understandable, but the bomb was already up mid anyway, so that round was over, regardless of what went on B. But Big would have probably liked to take a couple of guns away, keep Renegades honest, but also keep a bit of money here for the CT side. And now some Molotovs are going down mid, or Banana, sorry. We have got money for Big, and so they've got the AWP on Smooya as well as Tabson. This boost, self-boost, it might be good for Smooya. And what a flick. I'm just going to go down, and Smooya, oh dear, he hits the wall bang. God save the Queen. The nade's even gone in as well. JKS is tagged down low, and Smooya is making this round a reality for Big. This is a game of the AWPers. But now with Nifty removed, JKS is going to have to take that mantle with the scoped cannon into the B site where Tizian and Smooya sit.
Yeah, I mean, Smooya already find it too. JKS definitely has a tall order to ask of him there. He's going to back away, looks to rejoin now. Ustilo perhaps over here in mid. Big turnaround from Smooya, who had been struggling early on. Confidence is definitely key when you're the only British face in amongst a sea of North American and European players. How's that? JKS. Of course, the 2 Aussies left alive, going to try and make this work. These 2 years of synergy and chemistry between them. Smooya missed shot first time around. Going to go back for more, and JKS trying to home in on the position, but the flash is there from Tizian. Manages both frags, and Big going to find themselves a 5th round.
And awkward money for Azza, but everyone else able to buy here for Renegade, so it's going to be fine and dandy. No AWP just yet, but JKS could drop one over if he forfeits the helmet. Which isn't always the most of fun, so Renegades decide not to do that. They go for the full AKs instead. Yeah, I would have liked an AWP here, to be honest. Nifty's been having so much impact, I feel like someone should take that hit and just give it to him, because he's 9-6 right now. He's making these rounds happen for Renegades. He's opening things up. But maybe they want to do the same down towards B once again with another fast approach. But look at the utility from Big. Every round they've been going for triple setups to start it off, and they've been doing so much damage. Finally, that converts to a kill. And still Smooya posted up. He's flashed out, but he does get a second chance. Going back in is Smooya, and this is just the map for him, apparently. Big locking down Banana round after round. And 2 players left up for Renegades in an absolute mess.
Smooya might not have great memes, but my goodness, does he have flicks. What a man. Also, for some reason in Britain, that's an insult, saying that someone's bad at memeing, but Nifty and JKS. 2v5, Hugo. Can they find anything? God B looking up here towards apartments, gets caught out guard by Nifty. Now the attention falls to Tabson. Gonna round the corner. Nifty falls, JKS. Gonna get caught off guard on this peak from Nex. That's the round going the way of Big.
And it seems like everyone on Big is now stepping up, right? We've got Nex, who's just been consistent on every single map so far. We've got Tizian, who's had like little light of performance in these games. And now we've got Smooya, who's been fine, but not winning his duels consistently versus Nifty. Now he's actually doing that. So combining all three of those, and we haven't even like talked about Tabson, who, you know, while he's not been a star of any of these games, he's just been getting kills where he needs to. Big, all the pieces are kind of falling into place now in this final map. And that's a worrying sign for Renegades, who, while they have Nifty stepping up, right now, the players we've been talking about so far, JKS, he had a great dust too. Been a bit quiet so far. Jacob, a quiet series for him as well. We need someone else here for Renegades to try and bail them out of the situation before it gets out of control.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, right? Nifty is having a very good showing right now, but we need to see more. They've left us wanting. Got B's looking good. Him and Nex not really having to do as much heavy lifting as they've been used to. That's largely because Smooya showing up in spades, Tizian having a great game, and Tabson on that secondary AWP looking good. Back in Belo Horizonte, when I got to see Big play on the stage there, their performance on Inferno was abysmal, and that kind of started to fall down a lot because Tabson was struggling so much. And Tabson, a lot of time in that situation, kept taking the AWP over Smooya, which was quite infuriating to see. Whereas this time around, this double AWP setup is looking absolutely phenomenal for them right now.
I'd love to know, when we see Tabson AWP over Smooya, is that Smooya's decision? Is that Gob's decision? Is it Tabson's decision? I never know. I need to find out, because like sometimes, I remember Dust too, like Smooya, a couple of rounds, just gave it over to Tabson. I don't know if that's voluntarily or not. It could be a confidence thing. It could be Tabson having a feeling he's going to do well. And this round he certainly started it off, but can he carry on? Because the pistols are pushing, and Tabson is holding 2 shots. Third will not connect, and Tizian about to get overwhelmed. You could not climb up there too easily. But he does smoke it off and fade away.
Still an awkward round regardless. You still with the AWP. Nifty is up, and you still is going to drop it. Now, no one in a position to retrieve that. Tizian just looking to lock down the AWP, but he's going to fall to JKS. Now Nifty has the AWP in hands, and Smooya is going to face this, which could cause them some problems. Got to be rotating all the way down Banana. Nex hasn't actually discovered that the bomb currently lies over towards Arch. God B, you can see kind of playing a neutral position. It's almost as if the map has been swapped around. Think of where he is right now as that CT speedway, kind of floating between either one of these bomb sites, and also holding down the short side. His positioning is going to be key, though, as this looks to unfold. So we're going to come down to can he hit the right timings on these rotations next. As well, speaking of hitting things, is he going to hit this shot as they looked around the corner? They're going to run boost Nifty around. He doesn't suspect Graveyard, which now might make him be a dead man walking next. Steps up to the plate. Oh! Nifty is a spicy boy. Lands that shot. Going to be allowed to get the bomb plant here as God B rounds the corner at short. Smooya in through CT. Nifty, no armor, back against the wall. God B is going to find him.
Those rounds are always so terrifying. We've already seen Nifty pick up an AWP on an eco and find 3 kills. So in the back of your mind, when Nifty has an AWP, you're always a little bit fearful for Big. But a nice attempt nonetheless. That's an eco for Renegades with Glocks, and they get 3 kills on the bomb plant. At the end of the day, while of course they would have wanted to win there, that's fantastic. So it's going to set Renegades up for success. As long as they can capitalize off the back of that, they can push Big to eco pretty soon in a couple of rounds' time. But they need to start it here. And again, we don't have this AWP for Renegades. Lacking. Is that a money thing? No. They could have even bought it with armor. So Renegades not feeling the AWP. I don't know why, considering Nifty's been playing so well. Maybe a faster approach.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest. But also, I mean, even with the rifle, Nifty's been looking pretty decent.
Yeah.
And creating as much space is definitely harder on the T side with the AWP, right? And I think given that he's kind of the guy stepping up right now, maybe it makes sense to have him on the AK because you can be that much faster, you can be that much more versatile, you can be the guy to open up a round. Which, you know, whenever you see Nifty in the kind of clutch situations, it's less about opening up around and going for entries as it is about, you know, playing some smart angles, which is what the AWP is so good at. So, Tabson holding off this long position. Smooya soloing Banana, important to note. This has freed up a 4th man to come rotating around. That is going to be Tizian boosting up Tabson here. Oh, he spots you still. Surely he saw you still. Smokes are a little bit finicky in the GOTV, so maybe Ooh. Maybe not. Got beat. Almost caught rotating back into the bomb site. Site take underway. tabseN opens up. Jacob and you still a double down. A second for Jacob. And now it's tabseN and Smooya double AWP in the retake.
Yeah, this is not the best here for Big. We're going to need some impressive shots to land, but tabseN's already tagged down low. That might convince him to save, because if we look at the money at Big right now, it's kind of on the edge. They can just buy up if they save these guns. So, yeah, this is definitely the right decision. Inferno is a map where retaking is extremely difficult anyway, with a even equal player count, but now with a man disadvantage, Big are going to have everything against them. So the top two performers for this team right now, even they realize that. They fall back, they save, and allow Renegades to get a fifth. It's not a worry just yet, but what we've been saying, we've been talking about how the narrative of this game is very favorable for Big. Right now, I wouldn't even say that is guaranteed, because Renegades have 5 rounds. That's a good T-side to start things off, considering this is an equal playing field in terms of neither team picking this map. This is a very good start for Renegades, all things considered. So, yeah, a couple more rounds on this T-side would be fantastic, but Big saving to allow for a buy here so they can stop Renegades in their tracks.
Quick A-stream update as well. Yeah. MIBR versus North has gone to its 3rd map.
Oh, okay, so it's not one yet.
Yeah, they did one of the mid-series interviews. They're pretty common. North going to be up 7-5 on their T-side right now versus MIBR. 7-5 right here as well, so it's 7-5ception. But, yeah. Not going to stay on that point any longer. tabseN looking down towards the base of mid with his AWP, not peeking into it, but TiZiAN, sneaky beaky like down banana.
Renegades, we've not seen too much apps control apart from that one round where they dived out in the 2v2 and killed Nex. I think it was in pit. No, it was TiZiAN, but Renegades hold on to that part of the map for now. Big need to be aware, because Ustella could pop through the boiler, but a smoke will hold him back for just a modicum of time, 15 seconds. Still Big hold this aggressive banana control with TiZiAN pushed all the way down, but Renegades are hesitant to touch this banana right now. They want nothing to do with it. Nifty's just making sure there's no flank coming through, but with the bomb still in middle, Renegades can always back off. That's the best part of Inferno. Similarly to overpass for the connector, with mid here, you can just jump between the sites like it's nothing, but Renegades are going to be setting up smokes towards A. That does hint towards the commitment, but with the bomb going back, now there's aggressive positioning drawn back from Big because this time is so low. We have a wrap coming through, a mid to B. Combined through the CT spawn split. Smooya going to have to lock down banana. TiZiAN in the CT spawn, but only one for him. Smooya going to be challenged from 2 angles.
Yeah, Smooya is in such a horrible situation. The young boy from Britain only manages 1. JKS is able to trade, and now it is the 3-on-3 retake. All 3 players from Big down on banana. And as they go barreling on in, Nifty, missed shot, uncharacteristically so. Nex might catch him trying to get up on top of oranges, and now suddenly it's Jacob. JKS, the 2 Js, they play this B bomb site. They're very proficient at it. They know it well. Jacob's landed that first shot onto God B. Now tabseN and Nex left to retake. They're going to get dismantled. It all falls onto tabseN. Used to be the only shining star in this team for the most part. It's to try and roll back the years. Taps on the bomb, but JKS is there. Renegades moving on to a 6th round. The synergy between the 2 Js inside of that B bomb site does show nicely. And with that, the reset now comes in for Big.
Yeah, this is now switched into Renegades' game. They are going to have 7 rounds on this T side before we know it. Big don't have the money. And so, unless something ridiculous happens here, Renegades should be equaling up the score. And considering, again, this is CT-sided, I wouldn't say by a large margin anymore. It's, you know, it's like 60-40, I would say. And it really does come down team to team. So Renegades definitely do have an advantage here, assuming they can find this next round. And I don't know how this wouldn't go their way, considering Big have 3 USPs, a CZ and a Deagle. Not a shred of utility or armor. As a result, they're probably going to get shredded. So Renegades pressure early on B. And here's the difference, right? When Big don't have utility, Renegades get instant top banana control within 10-20 seconds of the round. When Big have nades, Renegades are so fearful of this B site. But now you can see how confident they are. We've seen this before, this exact same setup from Big with 4 players on the B site and Renegades challenging with a couple of rifles, but not committed. The bomb's in middle. They have the chance to back off if things go a little bit south here. With the stack in from Big, I doubt Renegades would walk into this one.
It's a standoff. Oh.
Do you think they can do this for 40 seconds?
40 minutes.
The problem is here is we've got a man wrapping A site right now. So when Usilo's about to realize this A site is almost completely empty, and when he does, we're going to see these 4 players on Banana just rotate, and they're going to hit B. They're going to hit A because they're about to walk into that stack, but Usilo lurks, and there we go. The round's done. That's such a shame from Big because they had everything played well, but Renegades just sent a lurk, and that is the power of a one man on that A site.
Oh, well, you're talking about the power of one. Tabson. Power of one taps. Does manage to get 1 frag before he goes down. 7-7, all tied up. Fantastic half from Renegades, especially when we were kind of bigging up the early CT side from Big.
Yeah. It's
been a great turnaround, and now a chance to win out the half.
But this is always the way, right? We start Big 7-1 on Dust 2. It ends 9-6. Train was a little bit better, but again, like they let a couple rounds slip at the end. They let 2 of the last 3 rounds slip, and it went 11-4. That wasn't really a problem, but they almost lost the game. So this is a bit of a problem for Big. They're very good at starting maps, but they've got to stay consistent because Renegades are dragging themselves back in.
They've already lost Tizzy, and for Smooya, things might get that much worse. Jacob dispatches of him. That's the B-bomb site open. Renegades know this. They go charging in now. And you want to know the strength of everything that's just gone on. Now you can see Ustilo and JKS. I mean, you could even keep one of them in this lurk position. They're just desperate to get into the bomb site, though, and just try to play that numbers game. They keep Ustilo around. He's going to spot that no one's heading down Banana, so you know that both of these big players are in CT, and they become very, very easy to isolate and frag in that scenario. You know where they are. You have their number. Nifty's peeking over the top of the smoke, and he's hitting everything right now. It's an 8-7 half in favor of the boys. Well, Big now left trailing behind only by 1 round, but now they move into the T side, which I think this is where you're going to see kind of maybe Smooya start to fall off a bit. Tabson could start to struggle, although he's very proficient with the rifle as well as the AWP. You do kind of lack that versatility. You can't double AWP anymore. That's out of the question.
Yeah. But now it opens up for Renegades, right? Now JKS can pull that up alongside Nifty, which is even more fearful. Renegades favoured here. Thank you to the Betway odds, and I think that is fair here, given the fact that they are leading, and they took more rounds on the T side, which is far more difficult. But not by a large margin. This is still a game on. If Big win the pistol, they could certainly pull this game back before they allow Renegades to even get close, but yeah, I imagine we're going to be seeing at least 27 rounds here. I don't think this is going to be a stomp for either team. Yeah, keep your eye as well for like a fast pistol round from Renegades. Maybe rushing a couple of players down towards the base mid. But 3 on B, I doubt that's going to happen now that I've said it. But anticipating an early play down towards this B-bomb site. As or even checks ult mid, this could lead to a bit of misinformation. He spots Tabson back on T steps. But he didn't see the 3 players grouped up over in T-side apps, which I think is going to leave this A bomb site now a little bit vulnerable because, he didn't spot anyone ult mid, saw 1 guy ramp. That suggests maybe they're up Banana, or with everyone playing so passively inside of B, they're not going to get any information about that. But where will Big decide to go? Because with Banana gifted to them so easily because of that passive setup, as you mentioned, they may be tempted. They may think this is a good idea, and Smooya holds the top of Banana, ready and waiting to see if Renegades want to retake this portion of the map. And there we go, Harry. I think it's happened. Renegades have baited Big in like moths to a lamp. A flame is the usual, but a lamp is good enough. I'm thinking one of those electric ones that kill you the second you touch them. Oh, okay. Well, not you, but moths. And Big are those moths right now. Let's wait and see what sort of lamp it is. Is it a bug zapper? It might be a lampoon. Or is this just your average run-of-the-mill light bulb? Let's wait and see. JKS forced out of oranges. Ooh, Jacob, they just offer those kills up to him on a silver platter. Nifty's going to come in with 1 more. And to tell you what, Nifty certainly is a pillar within this team as he plays around it. JKS finds a double, and it's got B. 1v5, not looking good for him. Ooh, there we go. Walks on round. JKS finishes off the pistol round with 3 kills, commandeering an early lead here for Renegades. 2 rounds up, a chance to extend that even more. Pretty lethal lamp, I would say. Yeah. That's a nice round from Renegades. Again, a big risk with that when they weren't running a kit, because if Big go A, Big win the round. You know what is the biggest, deadliest lamp in existence?
our son. And JKS is a shining star right now, so he definitely fits the bill. When I say our son, I don't mean our child.
Yeah, I was
mean
going to say, for a second I was like, I don't think I have a kid, but I don't know, Harry. Have you got some news for me?
all been pushed through. We're making it happen, Hugo. We're giving it our best shot. Here we go.
The esports power couple.
Everyone, we can train our son to be the best player. He's in the server right now. His name's Smooya. Here we go anyway. Big pistols up.
Oof.
I like this call as well from God B. He's been a big fan of this, saving for the extra utility.
They don't force, do they? They force some CT rounds, like I think occasionally, but after losing pistols, I think Big have eco pretty much every single time.
Yeah, and I think on this map even more though, you can understand why. I mean, with the map pool that was being played, Dust 2 is really the only one where I think you want to justify forcing. I quite like it, especially because Renegades having that double AWP ability, you want to have the utility to clear out the top of Banana. You want to deny that sort of presence early on, the pressure that an AWP can put on you. And it also means Smooya could try and bring an AWP out for himself even earlier.
Yeah, it's like when you have a really, really good AWPer, it pushes you against force buying because you know only 4 of your players are actually committed to that second round force. And so like when you have a team like Liquid, they're going to force up because they have great pistol players, great rifle players. They don't need the AWP. But when you have Big, they do rely on the AWP to some extent. And yeah, they are going to be ecoing this round. And now one by one, they're going to start to get ripped apart by these SMGs. The fleshy bodies getting torn apart, as you would expect. A couple of kills have come through for Big, but I don't imagine too much more. And that's the bomb dropped and the round done. Renegades 10 here on the CT side. Here is another eco from Big. Fun.
Yeah, you'll have a good eco frag. Regardless, it's going to be 11-7 before the buy comes in for Big, unless something goes really terribly wrong. But I don't imagine it will. Nifty has the MP9 to try and make some extra money. I was curious to see if he was going to just go USP only, but I guess the risk reward is worth it. He knows he's not going to have armor. Also, big shout out to teammate Azza, as it looks like he's probably going to be the guy dropping the AWP over to Nifty. Ouch, that's not going to be too fun. Damage done down mid with the PT-50, but now the frags come in thanks to these SMGs. The big question mark for me just now becomes, you know, how much is Smooya going to be affected by kind of having an AWP over on this T side? Are we even going to see him pick it up all that much? He has the money to right now, and yeah, I didn't think he would. It's just going to be rifles across the board.
Well, one thing they do know is that Renegades likely to run an SMG round here. Of course, they have actually gone for the AWP into the first buy, but Renegades kept a lot of players alive. They kept 3 in the second. They kept, I think, all 5 in that previous, so yeah, it's very likely you would see Renegades stick with SMGs here. So Big don't want to run an AWP against SMGs, especially if Renegades go for a really fast approach with lots of utility. So yes, they have gone for the AWP, but they do have these couple of SMGs left up in the Renegades roster. So an AK versus these guns is certainly going to favor Big, but let's see if Nifty can be the linchpin into this round, the man to open it up, and he's certainly trying to be hunting down through the apartments. Tabson in the meantime has dropped Jacob, so one of those 2 UMPs gone, but Nifty is still here.
Oh, big shot from Tizzy and then a big kill to find you still falls, and this is a mess from Renegades. The attempt at the bonus round is not paid off.
All right, Smooya.
They've gambled it all, and as a result, they've given it all away. JKS left in a 1v4, and this round should be over. JKS is pretty keen, though. But yeah, he's going to have to just back away.
I'd like them to save that AWP, though. Even though Renegades might be pushed down to pistols in the upcoming round, it'd be nice to see Big just get it so they don't have to buy it later on. Save some money.
I'm still questioning whether or not they even want it. I don't even think we saw them break it out all too much on their T side back in Belo Horizonte. I think, you know, I don't know. They are going to go ahead and retrieve it, but, you know, who do you want on it? Do you want to give it? I think you give it to your hands down, even though we saw Tabson pick the AWP up a few times over him. Tabson's definitely doing good with the rifles. I think you're going to want to have your stronger player on that to create the space for you.
Yeah.
Kind of use Smooya more in like a post-plant scenario. You have the bomb down, suddenly he becomes much stronger.
Kind of like Nifty on B. Like, when the bomb's down on B and you see Renegades in a post-plant with Nifty on an AWP, he's just going to kill you every time. He's so good at this map on post-plants. There's so many clips I can think of with this man. But for now, he's not got armor, Harry, so a little bit limited on the side of Nifty. Big do have that AWP in the hands of Smooya. Not seeing a double AWP yet for Renegades, though, and a lot of that down to money, but again, it's not a necessity at all on the CT side. You can easily run a solo AWP, and you can just kind of throw them back and forth between the sites. If Nifty's going to play Arch like he typically does, he can easily go back towards B if either they lose a player or want to swap, or want to triple stack B. Lots of options here for Nifty. And lots of options here for Big, because Renegades aren't putting any pressure on this round. Banana has been given away. It's a passive mid setup where they don't try and challenge through the apartments or anything here. So Renegades are giving Big all the room to set up for whatever they want to do. A very respectful style, but Big all the way at the top of Banana with a couple of lurks here in the apartments, just trying to make noise, trying to keep Renegades with this triple A setup. Maybe a late round execute to this B site once Renegades run dry on utility, but there is a lot of that left.
Still, I mean, I don't think that you can give God B and the gang this much respect. Outside the server, by all means. But inside, you can't give this Brainiac the room he wants to maneuver. You've given the evil genius all the tools he possibly needs to exact his revenge against the Renegades, and he will take that with a smile on his face and a skip in his step. Smoke and flashes in towards the B-bomb site. Jacob now. And JKS have spoken about this duo inside of B so much. The synergy is definitely there, but now the aim has to hold true as well. JKS finds the opener fully flashed back, now relies on Jacob to try and pick up the pieces, and he's done damage, trapped behind the pillar. Smooya just going to go ahead and remove him. Now 3-on-3 in this retake.
And this orb now gets a whole lot more dangerous here for the T side. Smooya is posted on that ruins, and Nifty looking to move back in through that position. There's no smoke left for the spawn, only a Molotov in the hands of the British player, and that needs to go out soon because the smoke is about to fade. He's about to be left very, very open. Tizian in the banana with taps and leaves Smooya with a lot to do here. They're waiting for him to make a play. The flashes are going over, but Renegades are not committing. They're running right back. They've given it up. They've realized how long it took them to set up for that retake, and the fact of the matter is they were pretty late on the rotation. So not by any fault of Renegades per se, but more to the fact that they had no information, right? Again, we talked about how they're giving a lot of respect to Big. They let Big just go for a standard execute. They hit their shots, they traded, and then Renegades go, we're too committed to A.
That's suddenly the problem as well, because it's like, you know, you haven't... So you saw how they were playing. They had two guys over towards short, one over near Arch, with like a really heavy emphasis down on mid. So many players on the short side is already just physically adding time to the rotation. But also, you mentioned how there was no players over in apartments, and what that means is you don't know if anyone's in there for Big. So suddenly you can't just run everyone off of the A-bomb site because, you know, you might have a little sneaky Tizian lurking in the back line just to pick you apart.
On top of that, let's look at the positions that Renegades ran on that B site in the previous round. It was similar to the pistol in the sense that we had JKS playing first oranges. I think it was Jacob at the back of the site on the pillar. And so Renegades have no info off of that play. If you have someone on coffins, maybe with an AWP or even CT, you can try and challenge and try and hold Big back. But right there, in those positions, you're giving Big literally a free entrance into the round, into the site. And yeah, okay, maybe if you get a couple of kills off the back of those positions, it's great. But if you see that, if Big trade effectively, you can't win that round.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that Jacob and JKS did a fantastic job.
Oh, for sure.
But a lot of the issue, I think this is going to fix it. Right? Nifty's come rotating over here towards B. Maybe we don't see it in this round, but the solution, I think, that when we're going to see Renegades, start to put up some numbers, is when JKS can bring out a secondary AWP over here towards B, or when Nifty switches things out and starts to play it with him, as we're seeing right now. It's the lack of information on either one of these bomb sites. You know, you kind of need to take a bit of ground towards one early on. This time they've done it at B. And as a result, they can afford to play three players over here towards short side, a really heavy emphasis on maintaining control of this portion of the map. They spot out Tizian over in the apartments. Jacob holding close. They get by him. Tabson goes down with the USP. He's done loads of damage, and Az has found a quick double. As now Smooya, the new boy, gets picked limb from limb. Renegades a 12th round. Nifty, the change that was made, putting him over on B, frees up space for Renegades to play that short side, but the real star, Azza. So much damage done, 3 quick kills, locks in that round.
And that was a save round from Renegades. They didn't buy around those 3 saved guns. They had 2 players on pistols, JKS and Jacob, so very, very important and nice to see that Renegades can win that round. It's now put them in a really good spot. Limited utility here on Big. Their last spy coming through if Renegades can win this, and if they do, it's 13 rounds on an anti-eco, so scary stuff here, and Nifty's even made things more difficult for the side of Big because he's just taking down Smooya and Banana. The AWP gone And no more map control up B for Big. The apartments is going to be their next destination, but Ustilo, he's spotted one. Tizian's gotten very, very close. Will he push ahead of the smoke? No, Tizian very reserved here, but as I say that, he's got a bit of an inkling here.
Yeah, I think he realized the smoke went a little bit too deep as well, so there is like a slight cubby that Tizian can get into just past it. I'm not sure what the vision is like, because smokes are a little bit finicky. But yeah, that doesn't look like he would be able to see. I imagine that's what the test was for, but didn't work out. Now Nifty playing up on the half wall, very, very strong position. You can kind of just take one shot, instantly fall off. You have that protection as you run away. So you get the info and a chance at a first pick, and that's that. Tabson will be discovered. The Incendiary goes down perfect here from Nifty. Buying time. You can see JKS on your minimap, number 6, running all the way through T-Spawn to come and help out his leader, his captain, inside of this B-bomb site. Godby now donning the AWP. We saw him do it a bit back on Dust 2 and Train. But it's a tall order AWPing on this T side, especially for someone who doesn't usually pick that gun up.
Tizian wants his next try at the apartments here with a couple of players to find. 3. That's a good crossfire from the pit to the site with 15 seconds left. Big, they can't afford to miss any shots. They can't afford to waste any more time. They need to go, but that Molotov holding them back. Tizian needs to find an angle, and there's the first kill, but 2 more left. 7 seconds, and the bomb's not going down because Jacobs dropped the players on the site. Godby is next in line, and even though he doesn't die, he just stays alive. Jacob wins the round for the side of Renegades, and with that, Big, they're only a couple of rounds away from going home.
Yeah, they were invited to be the home team in front of the home crowd, something that ESL One Cologne, a lot of people said, has never really needed. And while they might not get to have it, Big, they need to start to pull this back or else they will be going home, as you say. Renegades got off to a shakier start, losing to MIBR, 13-16 over, I think that was on cash. But then doing well in their games after that, get them to this point. They still have to go ahead and win out another. If they win now, they'll be facing the winner of MIBR versus North. So potential for the rematch, potential to be out for blood. How's that game going? Can you guys see you taking a glance?
It was a little 9-6 lead at the half for, I think it was North. Yes, 9-6 North, and it's now currently 12-11 to MIBR. So they pulled that back.
We are also a reoccurring trend. Yeah, I saw that. It's the Inferno games to end a best of 3. Very, very common right now. But for Big, they've gone for a force. Risky maneuver here from the German UK team. And we kind of mentioned we don't really see Big force buy all that often. You kind of realize how desperate the situation has become for this force to come on in. You have the AWP on Smooya, AK on Tizian. They were carried forward. A lot of that comes from that no loss bonus for those two. They're forced into this position. Throwing out so much utility in towards A. This should give it up. You can see JKS starting to leave B. Nifty holding, flashed off the angle. Tizian finds the opener. God, B's now dropped Nifty. And it's Azza from inside the pit. He has to buy time for these rotations from B, or else this will just be a save from Renegades. The pressure is very much on to Azza here. So much to do, so many players coming his way, and Next gonna find him. Jacob and JKS now only just arriving, and I think at this point you just call the save.
Yeah, that's such a nice kill from Next as well. You can see how important it was. It's a risk there from Next, but he has to chase down Azza in the back of pit, because otherwise Renegades have time to set up and put pressure on the other players of Big, denying any kind of bomb plant in round 1, but instead Next forces an important kill, and as a result, Big have taken double digits. 10 rounds on the T side. Just when this game looks like it may slip out of their clutches, it is back on, Harry. A force buy win from Big. And as you said it yourself, something they neglect to do a lot of the time. So that's nice to see results come off the back of it, because with Big actually winning that round, it's kept them in this matchup. Renegades money, though. Topsy-turvy. They will be able to put together a buy after this round, but the loss bonus back down to 1,400 for them. So the only positive Renegades can take away from that is they now have the potential of resetting the economy of Big. And at this point, we do have 4 players surviving for Big, so it wouldn't be as effective as you would hope, but it's still going to be the best case scenario for Renegades right now. That's if they buy, because we saw a similar round with this where they kept 3 players alive and they didn't even force round it. And that's when everyone else had $2,000, but with JKS and Jacob both able to drop over M4s, Azza able to buy himself, I would personally like a buy, but Renegades, they don't agree. And that's probably because they want the orb, which is a fair assumption considering how Nifty's playing.
Most definitely. And I think, you know, even the potential to move into a double orb wouldn't be too, you know, that's pretty promising here for Renegades.
They still have a 3-round lead, so it's okay.
They can afford to give something up here and there. Plus, you still have these 2 rifles. They can do damage. And right now, the majority of these players over here towards this B bomb site. But Tabson, you wouldn't believe it, as he just tears his way through a whirlwind of death. Up Banana, spewing body parts everywhere. God B, looking to pick up the pieces, not of the body parts, just find frags. Jacob actually from behind. Quad JKS suddenly emerges, and now things get a little bit scary. 2 versus 3, it's going to be in the retake. Over here towards A. Temptation might be there to go for it, but I think if you're Renegades, you've done the damage. You know, now you save these 2 guns, you can move into a double AWP. JKS and Jacob can drop stuff over. JKS can pick himself up the AWP. Nifty can grab one as well. So you imagine they don't move from this B-bomb site. Yeah,
this has turned out very well for Renegades. I would have preferred the force buy under the assumption that maybe they could win that, but actually saving 2 guns here is, I think, better. Given that maybe the force buy wouldn't have worked out, who knows? That's a question we can't answer. But yeah, very good buy coming up here for Renegades. Is going to keep this one maybe in their lead for now, but bigger slowly but surely bringing this game back. It's typically been comebacks for Renegades, but now the tables have turned. And everyone's saving in the back of pit. No one here to chuck in a Dosia nade, though.
If only Rush could do it. Just throw that in quick. Get a little graffiti in the game.
He's already got his name on the scoreboard. Is that not enough, Harry?
He deserves it all.
And a painting of his face on the wall in T-Spawn train.
Mate, he's got a Cloud9 player named after him. What more could you possibly want, okay? Everyone loves this man.
But the AWP is here, Harry.
The AWP is indeed here. And interestingly enough, not going to move into the double AWP setup. Instead, going to bring Nifty with them. Like sandwiches to a picnic over here towards the Banana.
Banana, always a nice picnic item as well. Diversifying their portfolio. But Fire probably not welcome to the party, so Renegades held back. They can't peek down with that AWP, and so this deep smoke has kind of been countered by Big with their Molotovs, and now they're going to move into position, but that's such a crucial kill. Tabson, who's just found so much good form in these last couple of rounds, a 3K in the previous, and an opening kill to the best player of Renegades in this map. The AWP is gone, and a man is down. How will Renegades respond?
Well, this supplies a lot of pressure out of the remaining 2 inside of this B bomb site. That's not to say the guys in there aren't feeling the strain as well. You can see they're spread so much thinner now. The A bomb site usually one that you like to have 3 players on. So indirectly, it's made A that much weaker. And you still are about to be tested. Jacob, very good preemptive rotate, starts to make his way over. Perhaps a call from the late IGL Nifty from beyond the grave here in this game. 30 seconds left on the clock, and the Molotovs raining in. Maybe we will see JKS start to pull around now, but the rest of the guys on A, it all comes down to them. And a great peek, great timing from Ustillo. Only manages one as Tabson. They just can't put a stop to him. He's even found himself another. It's Azza, alone and inside of the bomb site, desperately trying to keep Renegades in this round. He does manage to. JKS left to try and clutch. Is this enough?
You can't save here. You have to go for this. Renegades have saved so many rounds on the CT side now, allowing Big to mount this comeback. JKS needs the hero play, but it's a crossfire from the graveyard to the site. Looking undoable with no utility. But JKS going to give it his best shot. Moving in. Clearing the close corner is going to be his first objective. And there's Smooya down. Does he realize the second man? No! Tabson saves it with 4 kills in that round and even picks up the AWP. Big are still in this one, even with 4 casualties. It's a 12th round taken on this T side. This game could not be closer. Well, it is about to be because Renegades a pause and a probable eco here that Big, in theory, should find a 13th off.
This is absolutely unreal. Big, I mean, they've been the ones with the lead that, you know, started to crumble away. Renegades have been the ones that have been so good at building back into that comeback. And now, their house of cards looking like it might get knocked down here by the big boys. Nifty saving some extra cash so he can go for the AWP in the next chance. Will just be the eco. We always say Inferno makes for a great last series, but my goodness, it's about to go 13-13 unless Renegades do something spectacular. That'll mean it goes all tied up. And a lot of it coming off the back of one man in particular, Tabson, a name that just is synonymous with success within this big roster. We always used to look to him in the past. Now we look to him once again here on Inferno to decide their future. Godby pushing up Banana, joined by Tabson, the man in question. They've had so much success finding these entries in towards the B-bomb site. Everything Renegades do gets dismantled. They play it passively. Big overwhelmed. They go for the aggressive peek down Banana. Big are able to pick up the opening frag. So where does the solution lie?
A stack would be lovely right now, considering Big look like they're just going to blindly walk into B. And Renegades might just make the perfect call at the perfect time. 2 players on that rotate through the spawn to join the couple standing strong within the site. Big is so hesitant, but they have no map control, so this almost looks guaranteed here. Smoke down on the coffins, another one to the CT spawn, and now JKS blind, fast to fall off the angle. We have a crossfire between him and Jacob, who can walk through the smoke, but he's already dead to Smooya, and it's the same story for the other 2 players here. Nifty's early rotation will find nothing, and while he's equipped with a CZ, this round looks undoable, but Nifty almost dropping the bomb planter. It's the SMG that saves the day with 2 frags on God B, and Ustillo too far away from the party.
Yeah, it's a pretty grim situation right now. 13-13, Renegades at least get a bye. Big doing a fantastic job mounting this comeback. They are looking wary, at least. That.
Oh, don't. Oh, that is...
You still a run.
That is such a mistake.
He is running for the hills.
Yeah. That just didn't need to happen. Smooth was full HP. Could have stayed in Banana. Oh, dear. That might come back to haunt Big. Let's find out, though, because now, Harry, your dream has come true. Your wish is a reality. It's a double AWP on the CT side. JKS has now been gifted a weapon. And this may change everything here. A pause called at 13-13. You can cut the tension with a knife right now.
I mean, both these teams have fought so hard to get us to this point. Renegades came into the day thinking this might have been an easy one after a quick win on the map pick of Big, and then everything turned sour on Train. Now it's all up in flames here on Inferno. 13-13, all tied up. Tactical pause going to come to a close. Remember, in the next couple of rounds, one of these teams will be securing their spot to play versus the winner of MIBR versus North to try and make it through to the playoffs. The other will be going home. And well, I know there's a lot of nervous onlookers in either camp here, wondering which way this might end up. Regardless, we've seen some great CS today. Jacob and JKS, here we go. This double up setup, I've been speaking about it all game. This could be the turning point that Renegades need. JKS actually opts to leave Banana.
This isn't necessarily a bad idea. We've kind of criticized these passive plays from Renegades before in terms of it not being enough to win them the rounds, but with an AWP, a cannon now at the back of the site, this could change everything. Problem is Big. They've avoided it. And all that does now is if the A site is taken by this T side, it means a retake is going to be even more difficult for JKS. I mean, that's the same story no matter where Big go, because there's an AWP on either side of the map. But Nifty, hoping to step up here, flashed off right as Smooya gets into his vision as well, so that could have been Smooya's pick. Minute on the clock here for Big to make their decision, but again it looks committed and surely will be now. Nifty's gone down, the rotation of Jacob coming in through the CT spawn, and we need some big shots from Renegades to keep them in this one.
You still are up at apartments. Rotation, as you say, from Jacob. Here at long, they're going to try and boost over the smoke. This could be good, but Godby's keeping an eye on it. He's read this well. Smooya gets tagged up. I think that was by a nade from Ustillo. That's good damage found, but no, they've burnt out Jacob. Azza's come in to try and help out as best he can, but there's so many enemies in front of him. He does manage to find Godby. Now you still from inside of the pit. He found a lot of damage with that nade. He has to do even more with the rifle. Az has come in to try and save the day. Only manages one, and it's JKS with this solitary AWP. 1 versus 2, and he's still yet to leave B. He's made the decision to save. He has to back away. Big gonna move up 14-13 here. Map number 3. And they take the lead in the second half. In the closing few rounds, they now only need 1 more to reach match and series point. The winner of this now goes through to play versus MIBR. They just knocked out North from the competition. The Danish roster that's been on the rise has gone home. And one of these 2 teams on the screen right now will be joining them.
And the depressingly hilarious irony of this round is the saved AWP on JKS actually prohibits him from retaking this round. So, you know, big mistake from Smooya to give it over, but actually it's actually helped Big here. It'd be doubtful that he would have won that clutch anyway with a rifle, because Big have already literally won that exact situation before, but it's still an awkward spot to be in. Another pause for Big. Making sure everything is all fine and dandy before they head into these last couple of rounds, making sure they can try and take this victory here and complete the full upset. What a comeback this has been on Inferno as well for the German roster. It seemed like Renegades had this in the bag just a few rounds prior. What was it, 39? But it's not over just yet, so while Big hold the lead strong for now, Renegades still do have weaponry to fight back. We have that AWP in the hands of Nifty. JKS toying up with whether he wants to buy another one as well. Does he want to stick with the rifle? Because he could actually drop Ustilo here as well. That would probably be a good idea here. But no, he buys up utility. Ustilo goes for just a pistol unless there's a dropped gun on the floor. But there is not.
And I mean, you mentioned it. It was 13-9 at one point in time, just as you say. Tabsons looks so good to pull them back into this, but now, you know, a great supporting cast starting to appear around that. It was Smooya to open up this round, but I like this change. Az has done a lot of damage. My goodness, that nade.
They must have shot through it as well.
Yeah, either than that, it could have been 100 damage nade. They're pretty uncommon, though. It did hit him bang on, and I think it has to register 2 hits for it to, like, you know, it has to hit you as a person as well, I think. I don't know. Not 100% sure on the physics of Counter-Strike. Nifty. He's got to do more than physics, more than science. He needs a bit of magic right now, a little bit of flair, and the timing is just not there. As a result, God B, he's extended the man advantage even more, looking to crush the dreams of the boys. Send the EU, NA, Aussie roster back to America. A lot of nationalities there in one team.
3 continents.
Yep. Not content with just one. Ustilo. Flashback, they peek on round. Tizian's there. He hears the footsteps. 35 seconds, and Ustilo wins that fight. Now the bomb turns back to Banana. Over towards B it goes. Renegades aren't going to catch this rotation. And trying to retake it a 3-on-4, this just won't happen. They're going to have to save and try to play for overtime here in map number 3.
There is an AWP dropped in middle for Nifty that they can secure once they realize this site is taken by Big, and I think at this point they will have worked it out. There's 15 seconds left. They can't hear a single footstep. There's no one there for Big. Big could even go hunting, Harry. They have the money to do it. I question whether they will, with the fact that these players do receive a lot of damage from those early spray down Banana from Azza. So we have some tagged guys on this Big side, but they know that every gun they take away from Renegades is another rifle out of their hands in the next round, because we do not have any saved money on Renegades. $2,000 is the maximum on JKS. He's moving into position now to grab that AWP from the body of Nifty. Definitely a good decision, but will it be enough? Because Nifty certainly slowed down in these last couple of rounds, not had the effect that he did earlier on in this half. Big, fully grouped, fully saving, no guns gifted over. Renegades with it all to do here on round number 29.
And Renegades had the lead. It's been them who's been so good at tearing down the foundations that Big built to take the lead for themselves, and now, on the ground of which they were stealing earlier on, Big have come back for revenge. 15-13, 1 round away from knocking Renegades out of ESL One Cologne 2018. The pressure is mounting. It all falls onto Nifty and trial coach Ryu to try and culminate a strategy here that finds success for them. And what a trial by fire it is for Ryu here at this event, trying his hardest to calm the team down, calm the nerves. And God be, I mean, you love him, but he definitely is an evil overlord, isn't he? Taking a tactical pause of his own, lets the timer tick down. Renegades, they're all hyped up, they're in the mood, they know exactly what the plan is, and that just kills the momentum. And now God B has a little bit more time to solidify what it is they're going to do to switch things up. And Big might just try something, you know, completely random now, cancel out whatever it is Renegades have planned here.
Yeah. That's no more pauses left as well, Harry. So if we do go to overtime, it's just going to be an absolute battle. Big looking to find the 7th round in a row to pull this back from a 13-9 scoreline. Renegades kicking themselves for letting it come this far, but it's not over yet. They need to dig deep. AWP once again for Nifty. Smooya's going to be on the other side of things. Where will Renegades go? It's just a default setup 3 on the A site. We have again this passive B play. Despite having lots of utility on the side of Renegades, they do not want to challenge Banana because Big have just been getting the better of them every single time. I would usually say this is the perfect time to challenge Banana, but I think Renegades are making the right call here. Every time they have, even with Azza finding so much damage through the smoke onto Tapson and Smooya just a couple of rounds ago, he still dies. So a risk that Renegades don't want to take, but that is awful. A missed smoke off the back of the fountain actually helps Big there.
Yeah, smoke's falling down into CT. Looking at Jacob, he still has a Molotov left. JKS has a smoke of his own, so they can repel this attack for a little bit longer. When you do take a look at the minimap there, you can see Azza playing over towards long. His rotation would come in quickly if they go towards B. But Big looking like they have their sights firmly set on this A-bomb site. Nifty, Ustilo, and Azza, they're the 3 now that have to try and keep the dream alive for Renegades. Missed shot there from Nifty, and no Big. They're backing away. They're turning over here towards B. 30 seconds left. Azza has to get a move on. He has to start rotating. The footsteps are going to be heard. But taking a look at Jacob, he still has that Incendiary, and that is going to mean everything. He can delay this entire push from Big. They've left it down to the wire. In come the smokes and flashes, and there he is. Jacob throws down the Incendiary. They go running through the fire and flames and into the moors of JKS, and Jacob they go. And Jacob is going to smite down everybody. Tabson's left in a 1v4, and Jacob, he keeps the dream burning as he burned his opponents in the Molotov. 14-15, and 1 round is all that's needed now to carry Renegades back through to overtime. On the flip side of things, Big, they've got the money, they've invested, they've got everything they possibly need.
And finally, the passive B play works out for them, right? We've seen Renegades go for this round after round, but every time they set up with this passive B, it seems like Big avoid them and go to the A site. The only time Big actually went to the B site, when Renegades had a passive setup, they won. So we've been a little bit curious of this setup, but now it's finally starting to have effect, and Renegades are going to run the exact same one, because why not? It got them this far, Harry, and they need 1 more round to try and grab this overtime. They finally cut back against Big after a huge streak. But God B's on the AWP this time. The second AWP on the T side of Inferno. This is such a rarity to see, but it might open up if Jacob just goes for an aggressive peek here. Instead, he wraps the CT spawn, and God B needs to be aware, but he does have Nex on his side, just watching that smoke. Tizian again pressuring the apartments as he has been this entire map. As a minute hits the clock, Big is still very committed to this B site. Jacob continually repositioning within the back as well. If there's one thing we've learned from Big, that even when there's 15-20 seconds left, they will change their decision on which site to hit. But now Nifty's already taken down Smooya, and complications are starting to arise.
Yeah, Big, they've lost the man advantage. Renegades, they're desperate to keep themselves in this. They need to find 4 more kills or run down 35 more seconds. And Big, they're setting up for the A play. 3 players here for Renegades. The rotations are a long way out, and there's only 2 flashbangs left on Nifty. That's all the utility they have. They're relying on the aim communication alone between these 3 players inside of the site. 15 seconds and the time working against Big. tabseN finds the opener. Az has tucked himself away. He's dropped the bomb. Only 8 seconds. They have to try and get this down, and they haven't flushed out Nifty. GodB desperately trying to punch in those numbers, and he might just get away with it. Bomb goes down, and now the silence falls. Rotation coming in. It does get caught off guard by GodB. And surely this isn't how Big close out this map. It was looking so good for Renegades. Tizian falls down in the pit, and GodB with the AWP in hand down at short. The leader for Big, but he falls to Jacob. As once again, the Norwegian sees it through to the end for Renegades. 15-15, Hugo. We are going through to overtime here on map number 3.
Oh, that was such a nice play from Renegades on the site. Nifty playing reserved, allowing Az to do the damage and drop the bomb, but still Big somehow managed to pull it back into the 1v1. Fantastic display of work from the Germans, but it is just not enough, Harry. And while Renegades, if only they got those rounds earlier, now they've got to play at least 4 more as we hit overtime. And no pauses left. This is a short pause intermission between overtime, but in terms of tactical breaks, neither team has a single one remaining. So no more input from Kakafu, no more input from Ryu. It's these 10 players on the server that have to have every last bit of impact as we head into this overtime.
And I mean, this is just mental. What a great series this has turned out to be. Who will be taking this one over the edge? Renegades, a team with a turbulent history. The Aussie brothers that have all tried to band together, patching up their wounds with different nationalities here and there, led by Nifty, everyone's favourite honorary Australian. Jacob as well, the long-term standing that's worked so well, he might just stick around. Or over on the side of Big, it's the seasoned veterans, tabseN, of course, a man synonymous with success and mad fragging power, GodB, the sick sadistic mind that leads this team.
And the man you mentioned, Jacob, he's had a weak series, but it's here on Inferno. He stepped up, not only winning the 1v1 clutch, but finding a 4K to get Renegades so close in the 14th round. And now he's top for the team, but can they topple the giants of Big? JKS running back down Banana because the pressure is up. The Molotovs are down, trying to keep him in the face of these Ts, but it will not happen. Instead, tabseN takes the top of Banana. This is Big's territory now, but they're happy to give it away because they know Renegades are going to be fearful of retaking that part of the map. We've not seen any attempts late round for Renegades to push back down at Banana. It's been safe CT rotations all the way here on this second half. Now Renegades, again, this AAA setup has got to be pressured and it must step up because Big are about to execute with a minute on the clock.
Smoothie hoping to try and lead the charge here for Big. Out through mid with the AWP. Tizian, Nex and tabseN all up in apartments. But this is not somewhere that Renegades want to let them call home. He's still looking up at the balcony. Tizian goes walking in. His demise flashes there. GodB with the trade. Now it falls to Nifty. Up close. Has to use the AWP like a shotgun, but tabseN beheads him. Smoothie runs in and even finds one of his own. JKS and Jacob, they're so far isolated from this retake. And even though money's not a factor, I don't think you go for this. JKS has the AWP, the double AWP setup's very expensive to keep on rebuying into. This is going to be a 16th round on the board for Big.
The problem is, this is 16k armor 3, so Renegades, I mean, the save barely changes anything. They could buy up regardless. And even though, yeah, okay, JKS can't buy 3 AWPs in a row, he can get dropped over by players who are buying rifles, so it's worth it to try and get in the face of Big and take some kills on the exit. Jacob does exactly that. Only stat padding, not a winnable round, even with tabseN on the other side of the map because the bomb is so far ticked. But every little kill will increase the confidence of Renegades, and tabseN looks to finish off this final man in the spawn, but no angle to be found. But a round instead, and I'm sure Big will be happy with that one. 16-15 here. They start off overtime on the T side. A round they wish they got last time. And then we would never have been this far into overtime itself, but the double AWP for Renegades continuing. This has been a game of attrition between tabseN and Jacob in these last few rounds, and that only continues. Top banana smoke coming in, that's going to cancel out this aggression from Renegades, and they can't fight banana, and they wanted to as well. You could see they were eager to push down. We have a boost up from Nifty, and he's just watching down the ramp, but Smooya's already crossed to the left side of middle, so he's not going to have an opportunity. Instead, Big might catch advantage of these aggressive positions from Renegades. They're diving through apps, but diving into the hands of Ustillo and Azza, locking it down. It's Smooya to trade, but is it not too late?
Still plenty of time. That's not the problem. It's the manpower going the way of Renegades right now. Full rotations here from B as well. tabseN still alive, and he's been putting up numbers for Big right now. Gonna try peeking up from where his teammates tried and failed over here at Apartments. Will he face the same fate? Only time will tell. Smooya wrapping around the short position. Nifty trying to lock this down. tabseN's going to open up with that frag on a Nifty. Now the pressure falls on a Jacob. And Ustillo, tabseN caught out by Jacob. Smooya tries to refrag. Now the peek comes in from Ustillo. A couple of missed shots here and there from Smooya. They know where he is. JKS down at the bottom of Banana makes the rotation impossible, but Smooya doesn't account for Jacob up in Graveyard. And oh my, he started to believe a little bit there in the British Hope. Also now the German Hope is he could have won that out for Big, not meant to be. It's going to go 16-16. Renegades hold on to that round against overwhelming odds. Now this last one, critically important, decides who wins out this first half of overtime.
And the double AWP again on this T side for Big. They've run it a couple of times this entire map. Got B taking it. But I'm not sure if this will be what they really need, to be honest. It's so hard to run double AWP on T side. Inferno and Smooya. He's going to leg Nifty up in the sky. Knock down a peg. 16 HP, a shot to the leg. He's going to fall back towards Archway. Got B just trying to meander through the smoke in this B site as well. And actually, he might catch a good timing because JKS is beginning to wrap around all the way to the coffin, but he just scoped in. So I think Jacob may have actually heard that and communicated it over to his teammate. The smoke does not leave enough of a gap, but it does eventually fade, and Godby then wants to give it up because he's now open to the CT spawn that could hold a Renegades player. Double pit setup run for Renegades. A switch up in the setup. We've not seen this yet. But Big may not see it at all because they have the bomb outside of B, and even though there are 3 players in middle, we are yet to know where they're truly committing.
God, B trying to sell the fake here inside of this B bomb site. He does spot out JKS through the flames. Neither player connecting. That would have been a game-defining frag had one of them found it. Pushing in towards A. Ustillo and Azza, they've been so good at holding off this short push. They do have support from Nifty inside the bomb site. You can see Jacob trying to rotate around, but the rest of the guys have to hold their own. This time Azza falls at the first hurdle. It now falls to Nifty and Ustillo to try and do the damage, and tabseN finds one. Nifty still inside of the bomb site, but that bomb has to go down. Nifty missed shot on a God-B, and now it is JKS. Justin Savage in a 1v2. The bomb ticking against him, and AWP never ideal for this scenario, and God-B waiting in the pit. If he slow peeks this, he goes down, and he does indeed. Big, they are going to win out the first half of overtime, 17-16. Renegades now need to go flawless here to close this out. Big, meanwhile, they need merely 2 rounds. The winner of this, let's not forget, goes on a play versus Made in Brazil, MIBR, to try and claim a spot in the playoffs.
The worrying part here for Renegades is it's not even like that they had a phenomenal T side. Yes, they got 8 rounds. Yes, they took the advantage, but this was so neck and neck between these 2 teams in the initial first half that, yes, okay, Renegades may have a strong T side, but Big CT side looked pretty stellar itself. And we're about to find out if it can hold against these Ts. How many AWPs will we see here? Only 1 for Nifty. Double for the CT side. It's going to be tabseN back on that, so God-B giving it up, and it's far more common to see tabseN on that CT secondary AWP. We saw it on Train, we saw it on Dust2, and it's here again on Inferno where it has to strike, but tabseN's just been having a phenomenal match of CS right now. Renegades fast towards a second middle here in the first round of this T side. It's been a while since they've had this half. And Big already being proactive in their approach. They're pushed down Banana.
Now, something to consider is tabseN and Jacob have been two of the standout players in the latter stages of this game. Naturally, when you're having one guy put up a lot of the numbers, the T side is going to be very, very helpful in that regard. You can see right now, Tizian tagged down low by a nade early on. Goes back toward A, leaving Smooya to anchor that Banana position. There's 4 players for Big as a result inside of this A bomb site. Nifty spotted one. He drops tabseN. JKS even comes in with a shot on a got B. And now it falls to the tagged up Tizian to try and topple these players as they push on in. Does manage one. Nex even here now moving on through to try and reinforce. And that nade might find you, Stillo. Indeed it does. 2 versus 3. It was a good start for Renegades, but things have quickly turned sour. A man down, 40 seconds left on the clock. 2 smokes, a Molotov and a flash. That's all they've got to try and deny match point to Big.
And Big have the arch set up as well. They won't allow for this B-Rap, at least not without the information being gained. Instead, Renegades smoke off library and try and pincer Tizian within the site. 2 kills currently, and he makes it a 3rd. That might just have done it. There's only 1 man left up, and that is Jacob going for the open plant. His next Molotov's off his retreat. Jacob looks to get aggressive through the smoke, and this might be a dangerous decision because there's 2 players on the other side, but he finds one through the gap. Next not going to be able to spot him, and that leaves Smooya. He's got to prove his worth here and now. Into the site with a pistol, and Jacob switches weapon, but he still gets the shot. 3 kills, and what a blunder. 17 rounds to Renegades. They are back in this game. Even Stevens here in overtime. It's 1st to 19 out of these next 2 rounds, or if it's 18-18, Harry, we hit another OT.
I mean, Jacob might have had a quiet game on both Dust 2 and Train, but my goodness, is he making up for that now. 31-17. This guy, he might not have been born in Australia, but he certainly has the love from there as though he is one of their own. Leading the charge right now for Renegades. Oh, Nifty, you're unhealthy. You get tagged down low by Smooya. Quick double over towards the top of Banana. And just like that, 3v5 Renegades, they've lost a massive, massive amount of players early on. tabseN even going to go to drop out as, and now just leaves JKS and Ustillo. This round has all fallen apart for Renegades.
I mean, at this point, Renegades are already looking forward to try and dragging this to another overtime. A near impossible scenario. Not even a point of damage on Big. 5 players standing. And 1 by 1. Renegades look to try and drag this one back, but the shot through the smoke by tabseN doubles it up. 2 kills for him on that AWP, and it leaves just JKS. He needs to, well, win this round, but that seems a little bit too far gone at this point. A 1v5 does have a position up archway, but the timing, the peak from Nex is perfect. And again, not even a shred of damage to Big as they survive that round with 500 points of health. It's Renegades now fighting with their backs against the wall, but that's exactly how they pulled it to overtime in the first place. With a 4K from Jacob on that B bomb site to garner Renegades a 14th round, and then a 1v1 clutch from Jacob to bring it to overtime in the first place. Renegades have been here before.
They almost certainly have. Double op still out for Big. No AWP over on the side of Renegades, just rifles to try and carry this through to double overtime. They would love for this game to go to that, try and win it out there. They've toppled Big so many times, so they've had this advantage. Now would be the time to see that trend continue. It's all on the line. The loser of this goes home. The winner goes on to face MIBR for a spot in the playoffs. For Big, that means that their second large-scale event of this year, they would be making it through to the stage, only this time in front of the home crowd. Nex and tabseN along, forced off as the smokes and Molotovs churn away and force them off the angle. Minute left, and Renegades' utility is dwindling.
Yeah, but these nades have done good damage to 2 of the players on Renegades, which could certainly come back to haunt them as this push comes through. 50 seconds is going to be enough time, but do they have enough kills? Because tabseN's opened up, but the trades are right back in from Nifty and Jacob. The rifles reigning supreme for Renegades, leaves Nex on the site alone and stranded, but he's found 2. Almost a 3rd as Nifty wraps through and Gotby climbs up and above to save the day. It's on to Jacob.
He has been the star in this match for Renegades. 32 frags to his name. 2 players now to overthrow to take Renegades through to double overtime and deny Big their victory. He goes for the safe plant. Smooya's wrapping round. Failed in the clutch last time versus Jacob. Would love to make it up now. Jacob spots the first. Smooya has to trade. Smooya does it. Smooya lands the shot. Jacob, despite his best efforts, it's just not happening for him. Big, they managed to close this out 19-17. It took them a while, but Big, they finally managed to cross that finish line on the back of Smooya in that last round. Him and Nex do so much work. And Big, they will be playing versus MIBR up next to see who makes it through to the playoffs. People said Germany, ESL One Cologne, they didn't need a home team, but they might just get one anyway. There's still another game yet to come, but let's just take a look at what we just saw there. My goodness, what a performance from both teams. Commiseration to Renegades. Congratulations to Big on finally closing that out. At the start of the day, it looked like Big were just going to get steamrolled after that Dust performance, right? But they turned it around. They dug deep. Tabson in particular, what a recovery. But Nex in that last round, he was the hero.
Massive. Yeah, and I mean, it's got to feel great for Smooya as well, our resident Brit, right? Loses the 1v1 versus Jacob to allow this game to carry on so much longer, and then he wins it to finalize the game and win that best of 3. So definitely a feel-good moment for Smooya and for the rest of Big. Again, this has been a team that's been on the rise lately, and what a heartbreaking loss for Renegades. They tried their very best. They brought it to a 3rd map and overtime, but they will be sent home with nothing. But that's still a good performance from a team that's been struggling lately, and we have been talking as big as this upcoming team, and they're really about to prove it. So Renegades won't get the rematch up against MIBR there for the playoffs place, but Big get an opportunity, and I think that's going to be a hell of a game, Harry.
It definitely will be. I think that's going to be covered over on the mainstream, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think we're covering that.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
Yes.
I mean, we'll find out, and we'll get back to you for definite. But yes,
Astralis
it will be Big versus Made in Brazil to decide who goes through to that playoff spot. They might be made in Brazil, but history will be made here in Cologne. We'll be back anyway with another best of 3 after the break.
ESL One Cologne.